If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Back at it, day baseball. Kansas City pounds Chicago 10-0, and Detroit, game one of a doubleheader, leads Colorado 10-1 in the bottom of the seventh. Minnesota beat Baltimore 5-2. Boston shut out Texas 5-rip. The Meat Man delivers. Joins us on the Progressive guest line, Steve Wyss, because we win pod, also Nordic Soccer as well. Go over some plays in the Premier League, the playoffs in the lower league as well. Good to talk to you, my friend. Condolences. Back-to-back relegations for Luton Town, which you called, and you had leads to win the championship. But how you feeling right now?
Well, feeling pretty good about Leeds getting promoted, my own team. Disappointed for Luton Town. You know, we've talked about them a lot, haven't we, on this program this season? And, you know, to get consecutive relegations is really bad for that particular club. And, but I you know, as I said, I did see it coming a few months ago. Mm-hmm. The writing was on the wall, as we say over here. But I do think they'll win League One next season. Early bet for you there. Okay, excellent. Let's start with the Premier League. How about goals? It's been your club. You pointed out how many times they score early on in matches. Ipswich Town against Brentford. Brentford over 3 goals. They get one early here. Tell us what you think. Well, I'm a little bit surprised you can get an over 3 Asian goal line at -120 for this match. The reverse fixture was a bonkers affair, ended 4-3 to Brentford, and I think we might get something similar again. The problem for Ipswich, they are already relegated. Their defense isn't good enough. They've only kept 2 clean sheets all season. The last time they shut out a side was on the 30th of December, a long time ago. They've conceded at least 2 goals in all their last 5 games. Yeah, the defense just isn't anywhere near good enough for Premier League standards, which is a big problem when you're facing Brentford strikers. Johan Visser, Brian Mbeumo, they're in the top 6 for the high-scoring players in the whole division. So I think Brentford probably win the game. Ipswich themselves have got a decent striker in Liam Delap, who might get a good transfer in the summer to a big club. So the likelihood of goals, high amount of goals in this game is pretty decent. And you know the 3 Asian goal line, if you get 3 goals exactly, it's a push. So I'm struggling to see how this doesn't explode into a wild affair. All right, let's stay with the play Saturday. Man City on fire, trying to finish top 2, top 3 in the table. We're not going to mess around with the $5, but correct me if I'm wrong, Southampton can tie the record. They only have 11 points. Is 11 points the fewest ever in the Premier League? But you want to answer that, please. And Man City, why do you want to attack this if you think they blow out Southampton? Yes, the Derby County side of, I think it was the 2008-9 season, hold the record. I think this Southampton team's worse than them. I'd back that Derby team to beat them. And they can tie the record still. If they lose all the remaining games, which is very possible, that could happen. They're going to lose this one. Manchester City have everything to play for. There's a massive golfing class. It's like night and day. Some key stats for Southampton this season. They have lost an incredible 28 out of 35 games. 17 of those games they've lost by a 2-goal or more margin. So when they lose, they tend to lose quite big. You know, that's the key stat. So take Manchester City on a -2 Asian handicap, which means if they win by 2 goals exactly, you'll get a push. If they win by more than 2 goals, we win the bet. This is going to be blowout City. 4 or 5-0, I think this could be. All right. You know, they don't need to rack up the score, City, but they're just way, way better than Southampton. And at this stage of the season, you know, Southampton, the one thing they didn't want to do is actually get the lowest ever points record. You know, to tie it would not be good, but at least they're not going to be on their own at the bottom there with 10 points or fewer. So they're not going to target this game to try and get off 11 points. Manchester City will get the job done. I'm expecting, like I say, probably 4-0, 5-0 here. So the -2 on the Asian line on Manchester City looks a good one.
Sunday, Steve.
Early.
Newcastle hosting Chelsea. Yep. Chelsea played today, still alive in the Europa Conference League. At St. James Park, early Sunday morning, 4 a.m. Pacific time. Newcastle plus 110 on the three-way line. Who do you like here?
Yeah, Newcastle, definitely. Chelsea, like you just said there, should be, they should win that Conference League. They're the best team in it. They're in the final. And, I do expect them to get the job done, Mike. But in this match, I think Chelsea will struggle. Newcastle have got a great home record this season. They've won their last 5 consecutive Premier League games at St. James's Park. They've won 7 of their last 9 here. This is a fortress sort of place. The crowd really get behind them. It's definitely worth factoring in. If you're doing your percentages, working out your odds for each game, Newcastle definitely deserve a bigger home field advantage than certain other teams in the Premier League. So, yeah, I've got to really go based on that. And I actually think Chelsea are a little bit soft mentally sometimes, make crucial mistakes in the big games. Their form has improved a little bit recently. They're actually unbeaten in 5 straight games, beat Liverpool last week. But, yeah, that was a good win against Liverpool, but Liverpool were just partying all week. So you couldn't have got Liverpool at a better time. So I'm almost discounting that result a little bit. But I do think they'll struggle here. They lost, the 2 teams met earlier in the season in a key cup match, actually, at this same venue, and Newcastle came out on top 2-0. You can get plus money on Newcastle winning the game, plus 110, maybe even bigger in certain places. It's a massive game, actually. Newcastle are desperate to finish in the top 5 to qualify for the Champions League. So are Chelsea. I do believe this will be a home win, and the Magpies, as they're nicknamed, can come out on top and use this really, really strong home field advantage.
Okay, follow the money. Pauly and Mike Palm, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. The meat man, our guest, Steve Wyss, on the Progressive guest line. Late Sunday, so 1 against 2 here. We already know Liverpool has won the Prem, as you talked about. After the bad performance, you want to back Liverpool against Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm going to write off that defeat for Liverpool last week. I think we can excuse them that. They just won the Premier League, and they were partying all week, really, probably. A lot of other distractions off the field as well, media hype getting involved. It would have been hard for them to focus on that game against Chelsea in a result that really didn't matter to them. But they will want to beat Arsenal at home. This is a big game. There's a lot of history and rivalry between these two sides, and Arsenal for most of the season have been their biggest challengers. I think Liverpool want to show this season why they deserve to win the Premier League and kind of show them who's boss a bit. So I'm going to back Liverpool at plus money here, plus 105.
Okay.
Arsenal's actual Premier League form is terrible. They've not had many wins in recent times, and they've been distracted by the Champions League. They've been knocked out of that competition now by Paris Saint-Germain in midweek. That's another negative for Arsenal here. A short turnaround. Liverpool have been focusing on the game all week. And when things start to go wrong for Arsenal, they can escalate like this. The manager's been spouting off a lot of nonsense, really, after the game, after losing to Paris.
Yeah, that was
excuses
ridiculous.
Are coming in.
Yeah,
excuses left, right, and centre. And I know what Arsenal get like, where you can get a bit poisonous atmosphere-wise, and I think Liverpool take advantage of that. I do think Liverpool right now are the slightly better team anyway. Want to show them who's boss, take them at plus money to win, and hopefully they're over the party hangover.
I like it. And I like this one a lot, too. So we have the lower leagues with their playoffs right now. And Sheffield United just beat Bristol City in the championship. There was a red card. It went over. They won 3-0. Saturday starts League 2 playoffs. Your play is Sunday. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think Walsall had like an 8-point lead with a game in hand, and they just threw up all over themselves down the stretch. Chesterfield playing better soccer. How about leg 1 here? Chesterfield, what's the price?
It's got to be Chesterfield to win the first leg here at plus 115. I think it's a massive price. These are the best bet I'm giving out on this show today, actually. And I also think Chesterfield are worth backing to win the League 2 playoffs at about 2-1. I mean, you've said it there, Pauly, that Walsall looked an absolute nailed-on lock to be promoted automatically. Mm-hmm. They blew a huge advantage. I think it was double digits. They only won 1 of their last 13 games, which was actually on the last day of the season. It was too late then. The damage had been done. Wow. So, and even then, actually, it was a 95th minute Bradford goal, which kind of broke their hearts. So this is a Walsall team that have shown relegation form since the turn of the year, really. They should have gone up. They've got the heartbreak of that, and now they're in the playoffs. It's going to be so hard for them to pick themselves up. in these playoffs. And Chesterfield at home in the first leg. Chesterfield do have momentum heading into these playoffs. 1 defeat in 13 games, won 3 of their last 5, and they had a really good win on the last day of the season, actually, to make sure they qualify for these playoffs. So I think certainly Chesterfield will win over the 2 legs. The first leg here at home, you've got to think the crowd are going to get behind them against a Warsaw side who are going to be down, depressed. I just don't see how they can pick themselves up. So to get plus money here, plus 115, it's got to be a bet. And I'm absolutely going to back Chesterfield to win these playoffs as well, because I think they'd have every chance in a final against Notts County or AFC Wimbledon.
Steve, we got about a minute left. Man U and Tottenham sit 15th and 16th in the table. However, on May 21st, they get to travel to Basque Country, to Bilbao, and face off for a Europa final for a piece of hardware and a berth in Champions League next year. I haven't seen a price on the game, but Man U has been a slight favorite to Tottenham to win Europa all along, so I assume they'll be a slight favorite in that game. Do you have any thoughts on who wins the Europa final?
I think it'll be a really close game. I think this could be decided. Extra time, penalty kicks. The tie in 90 minutes would be if I had to bet on the game right now, I'd bet on the tie in 90 minutes, because both sides have been really poor in the Premier League, but they've saved their best for this competition. And Spurs especially have surprised me. Spurs have defended extremely well in the last 2 rounds. So they've got a World Cup winning defender in Christian Romero at the back for them, and he's actually performed in this competition. That could be the difference, Maybe Spurs just nick it based on their experience, and they've got some leaders and winners in there. And the manager, Hans Postecoglou, promised to win a trophy in his second season. He said he always wins a trophy in his second season at a club. That's going to be the big narrative heading into the competition. It's going to be absolutely mega hype, Mike. It really is going to be crazy. How about Spurs win the final on penalties?
Very good.
Thanks for staying up late, Steve.
You got it, buddy. We'll talk to you next week. Go get them. Great
You take care, boys. Take care. See ya.
You cannot be serious up next in an open mic with an umpire. This can't be good.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Game 1 of a doubleheader. The misery continues for Colorado. 10-1 Detroit, bottom of the 8th, as they're going to drop to 6-30 on the season. Looking forward to the weekly special. It's time for You Cannot Be Serious. Get a maestro. Here we go.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious.
Pauly, how about Tuesday night in Kansas City? The Go-Go White Sox battled Seth Lugo through 7 innings, chipped away, and took a 3-2 lead into the 9th. 1 out, nobody on. There's the pop-up. Sure-handed second baseman Chase Mydruff plants under it for 6.8 seconds. 6.8 seconds. Only to have the ball careen off his head into right field.
Come on.
Well, Michael Taylor's right there in short right field. All he has to do is throw the ball to second. They've got a force play. No. Over the second baseman's head. The double error, and the White Sox blow the game again. 4-3 to the Royals. Chase Mydruff.
You cannot be serious.
You alluded to it in the open, Paul. Veteran umpire, crew chief Bill Miller, working the Twins Red Sox game in Boston. The 7-1 game. Sox come sliding into the home plate. Miller safe. Rocco Baldelli sharp as a tack, or as the cue ball, as Uncle June says, challenges the play. He was tagged. Now Bill Miller comes back and says after review, call is overturned. It's his call. He's the home plate umpire. Runner at the plate is out. They go to break because that ends the inning. Bill Miller still got an open mic. He says, F! I effing saw that too. Gee, damn it. In front of everybody. Everybody on Nesson heard it. I mean, they got to get thrown out of this. It's a Steve Sear job. Bill Miller can't be back on Nesson. Bill Miller!
You cannot be serious.
Now, I haven't said anything about Minnesota in a few weeks. I know those out there are keen to point out when I do. But how about this Billy Garrett? How about the Wild's GM? He was asked a very legitimate question, which is not often in that bought and paid for Minneapolis St. Paul press.
Oh, come on.
They asked him, please, they asked him, would he consider changes in his medical staff? And he said, I don't know. Well, why would they ask the question? Yeah. Well, you know, Guerin was the GM for the American side in the Four Nations face-off. So it was the Wild doctors and training staff that went there to support the American team. What happened there? Oh, they totally botched McAvoy's shoulder injury. He never played again the rest of the year. So much for the Bruins' chance at the playoffs. How about both Tkachuk brothers? Missed serious time coming out of the Four Nations. Never mind the fact that Eric Zanek and Kirill Kaprizov missed half the season this year for the Wild. So it's a legitimate question. He went on to say, Guerin, we've got great doctors. We've got a great training staff. They take care of our players incredibly well. You just can't uninjure guys. What a ridiculous quote. That is a great question, and Billy Guerin can't even give you a serious answer. Bill Guerin!
You cannot be serious!
Good job.
Oh, yeah.
Nice job.
In and out.
There you go. Strong at the end. Wow.
Guerin.
Bought and paid for, huh?
They don't ask any hard questions.
You don't have to, okay.
I mean, Paul Allen. He's more in tune with what's going on with Stefanski and the Browns.
Yeah, well, they set up Finch. Good. He got a great answer for that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a short baseball card tonight. We're going to do a plethora of props in half an hour. But I mentioned all the day games we had in the finals. And you want to come right back against Colorado in game 2 of a doubleheader? Right.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Yep.
Now, they used up the bullpen here.
Yes, it was why they took Freeland out that early, you said?
I can't believe it. I thought they were going to let Freeland out there for 100 pitches. I mean, this is interesting, but all it does is hurt their chances in game number 2. I mean, that's an incredible play of and of itself. Freeland gets pulled after 3 innings, 65 pitches. Mm-hmm. Now they bring Cheville in, long reliever 39, and they've got me out here. He's going to have over 35 pitches here before it's all said and done. So they're going to have about 3 fresh arms in their bullpen for game 2.
I want to come back with Philadelphia again here, taking on Tampa. They've beat Tampa 8 in a row. Tampa's had all kinds of issues against lefties going back, and they've lost 8 in a row to the Phillies, as I mentioned. It was Luzardo the other night. No, excuse me. It was Sanchez the other night. Now it's Luzardo. You see what Schwarber's doing with this on? Now he's only halfway to the record, which is Ted Williams. But with the 42, 43 game on bases streak, and another home run, which I don't mind tonight as well. The total's 9. Tampa's been a mess at home. Phillies had their number. They struggle against lefties, have been. They're $1.60. I think I like Luzardo and the Phillies here.
Like Luzardo is pitching great, Paul.
Yes, he is.
He's to me, amongst the 3 or 4 guys that have their nose right at the front of the Cy Young race. Yep. Last year, remember, I bet him at 50-1 in Miami. I couldn't even get the ticket to April. I mean, it was that bad. His first 3 or 4 starts, he's been absolutely terrific, including that night he outdueled Yamamoto in Philadelphia. So I back your play there. What are your thoughts on the Braves?
He's 3-0 with a 1.94, by the way.
What are your thoughts on the Braves and the Braves in general? And they're playing better. They're getting some people back, but you got to overcome both the Phillies and the Mets in that division.
What's the price to make the playoffs? Is that where you're going?
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Okay.
I
don't know. That's a tough call. I got to see, though. I haven't even looked at that price.
Well, I mean, look at what's going on in the West.
Yep.
You've got 4 good teams in the West. Looks like it might be only the Cubs, but I never count the Brewers out in the Central.
They're $1.30.
Yeah.
You've got the Giants, Padres. Cubs are going to win the division.
Yeah.
The Mets are $5. Wow.
Yeah, but you probably have to overcome the Phillies. Yeah. You probably have to be the 2 team in the East.
Put themselves in a big hole with that bad start. Milwaukee plus 250.
Tonight they face Lodolo and the Reds.
Yep.
$2.05 now with Schwellenbach, who's scuffled out of the gate. Let's be honest here.
Yep.
The ERA near 4 here, 1-3 right now.
And then Bassett goes against the Angels. Every Bassett start has gone under. 7-1 with an ERA of 6. ERA of 3 last 10 against the Angels. His team is 9-1 straight up in those starts. But you're back. If you want the under, I'm not going to kill you because of the offense. 2.7 runs per game on the road. That's what you're up against. But again, 7-0 to the under. And he's $1.30 against Sirianno with a total of 8.5 at coming up at 6:30.
Sirianno pitched his butt off against Skubal last time out, and they pulled him too early. And that game went 1-1, and then the bullpen field. How about the end of the game last night? Were you watching this? I needed under 8.5 to hit a 5-teamer.
Are you serious?
And Snyder brings in this thing called Jeff Hoffman, who had given up 3 runs in a third of the inning the night before, and he does it again last night.
Brad sent us an email. Someone had a ticket that paid 6 figures. They needed Toronto. It was some free play, whatever, an 8-teamer.
I had a $200 5-teamer that paid $2,900. I had 4 in. They were all soccer, and this game under 8.5.
Oh.
So at the top of the inning, it was 4-2. Over 6.5. 1 run was plus 240. So I put 300 on it, right? I couldn't rebet it quick enough because the bases were loaded within like 15 seconds.
Oh, come on.
He walks the 9-hitter on 4 pitches and then 211-mile exit velocity singles to center. He just got blown up the night before against the Angels.
Yeah.
And you bring him in to close the game. I get it. He was 7 for 7. But maybe it wasn't his night.
He clears the bases.
Clears the bases with the triple.
And he 5-4.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. 5-4. And I'll tell, but the guy had I saw the ticket. The guy had the cash out available, though. He had the option to take the $88,000. I don't know if he did it, but you're right. Just how fast that happened. Bam.
It happened
bases
too fast.
loaded.
You didn't have any time to rebet. I wanted to rebet the 8.5. Because 7.5 was 8.5, right? They had to tie it. It had to go to 9.5.
Okay.
9.
And your guy Yamamoto goes.
Well, he's good.
He is 6. He's 6-1 to the under.
Mm-hmm.
Best ERA in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers are $1.50 against Fott. 9.5 the total. And you know what I'm doing with Freeman props, which I'll get to coming up. 1 earned run last 32 innings pitched. Could be home run derby, though, because for the Dodgers, as Arizona's allowed the 4th most home runs.
Well, it's a weird travel spot because they fly. I know they played a day game yesterday, but they fly from Miami right to Phoenix, no day off.
Yeah.
A cross-country trip. Not going home, but to another road spot. Kind of. I think the 2 best auto bets in baseball are just go over 17.5 outs for Yamamoto and Lugo. They're both going to get 6 innings in every start. Now, sometimes the juice is going to be different. Lugo, you can even toy with him going into the 7th because he gives you 100 pitches every time out.
Freeman, 478, 18 RBIs during the 12-game hitting streak. Continues to crush that over 1.5 total bases prop as well. Triple yesterday, back-to-back games with a home run, and keep riding that as well. And the Dodgers, $1.55. But short card, again, with the day games, and you see in some of the games that are up tomorrow as well. And Skubal's 2-7. Oh, boy, it's Skubal against Corbin tomorrow. Oh, my God.
Hey, Corbin's been better. Corbin's been better.
But the spider bite, I know. Isn't that weird?
Very strange.
Bit by a spider, his foot swelled up, and now the guy's been okay. But Skubal's 265 at home in that one. They got to finish off the Rockies here in the doubleheader. Lou Finocchiaro coming up next. UFC 315 from Montreal with a plethora of picks. And Uncle Lou also likes his playoff hockey. And I think he has a team that's cooked, that a team's in big trouble here in one of the series that he'll talk about as well. So we'll get to all that straight ahead with Lou and Jeff Davis on hockey at the top of the hour to go over what's going on with the futures market and if Carolina puts Washington away tonight as well. All that coming up. VSiN, Follow the Money, downtown Las Vegas, circlelasvegas.com. Pauly Howard, Mike Palm, Sirius XM Channel 158.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Detroit ready to put away Colorado 10-2, game 1 of a doubleheader. And Detroit $1.90 in game 2 coming up as the Rockies are going to have their 30th loss of the season. Uncle Lou joins us now to talk UFC and hockey. UFC 315 Saturday, Montreal. He's on the Progressive Guest Line. Give him a follow at Gam Lou on X, Bout Business Podcast, VSiN contributor, all that good stuff. And he joins us now for some picks. How you doing, sir?
Doing great, guys. Thanks so much for having me on. Super time of the year.
You got it. Let's start with the first pick and how you want to play it. Sometimes not available out here in Nevada, but with Katona, and how you want to attack this with the judges and maybe get involved with points, and we could have a live dog off the get-go. Take it away, sir.
Yeah, one of the early fights on the fight card from Canada in Montreal. Though Katona's not from Montreal, he's a Canadian. He'll have the crowd, no question. But he's fighting a kid younger, taller, meaner, coming in off a loss to Umar Nurmagomedov, where he showed himself to be a complete dangerous fighter. Bekzat has been catching a lot of love, but Katona this is his second stint in the UFC. He's won tough twice. He's durable. He's boring as all get out, and people don't like him. He has a really abrasive personality, but the kid can fight. And so he's a live dog for those in Nevada, and for those that have your DraftKings and FanDuels, you can take advantage of Katona on the points handicap at a +3.5. You got to pay -180, -190 in a fight that happens to be lined to go over pretty heavy.
Okay, excellent. How about Kudalaba and your thoughts on this fight and the price? I can't see it right now. Where did he go? Minus
it's
115.
Pretty near
115, sorry.
Pretty near a pick 'em, yes, sir. What's fascinating about this fight is two Eastern European guys, one from Lithuania, one from Moldova, Kutalaba. And the Lithuanian Bukauskas, long, tall, pretty well-rounded, little more deliberate. Kutalaba is a wild man from the Pampas. He's just a tornado, very offensive, very powerful, and very direct. But he sometimes leaves himself open. I do like Kutalaba here because of the capacity to wrestle. I think that lately Kutalaba's been evolving into some fight IQ, and wrestling will provide him advantage here. And I think we're getting a good price on a guy that has every chance to win here because of the completeness of his fight game.
All right, couple gals. Grasso +220 against Silva.
This is a great fight. The young Silva is a Brazilian that uses her leg work and footwork to maintain distance and kick and really pitter-patter her way to one-sided decisions from distance, but she needs that distance. Grasso is an ex-champ coming off 3 fights with Valentina Shevchenko, the current champion, and she's been in with a higher set, a higher caliber, higher level of opponent. And now she gets Silva stepping way up in competition, and Silva's good. And I'll even give her the fact that she should have the respect of being priced as a pick'em, like this fight was when it came out. But the money's all been on Silva, the Brazilian, and I think Grasso is in a terrific position, especially at this better than 2-to-1 price.
You like to do this in the past. The over 2.5 is -440 in some spots. Can I go by Can I go majority decision? Can I do something like that where it's going to go to the distance and maybe squirrely stuff with the judges?
Well, if you're going to play that, then you play it maybe to go to split or majority decision where you'll get long odds. But I mean, if Grasso can get into her, she can soften her up. This Grasso is a Mexican with heavy hands and a granite beard and good experience. So I'm not going to get too cute with the props. I really think Grasso's in a good position. I wouldn't put it past her to be able to finish Silva, provided she can get inside. Otherwise, the Silva decision, if that's the way you want to look at it, I'm sure you can get that price on her to a manageable position. I just think that the stalking Mexican ex-champion is getting a little disrespected on the price.
You're not going to lay $3 with Jasmine. You want to go +175, any type of finish in her fight? Take it away.
I do. Jasmine is a Canadian fighter that's been really ascending in her last 3 or 4 years. She now finds herself at 34 years of age or so, and she's going to be the legitimate fighter at 125 pounds. Andrade floats between 15 and 25 and is really good at 15, but pretty undersized at 25. And now she's in with a big, huge, hulking Canadian grappler that has decent hands. I see this fight going, Jasmine gets her to the ground and rubs her out some way. And I do like a one-sided affair here for the Canadian girl. And so the inside the distance there gives you a much better return at plus money.
Okay. Follow the money. Pauly and Mike Palm, VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Lou Finocchiaro, our guest on the Progressive Guest Line, Bout Business Podcast, VSiN contributor. And follow him on X as well. The main event, Muhammad, I saw with 30-cent move. Are we up to 190 here? What do you think, how you want to play Muhammad?
Yeah, Muhammad opens minus 175. So he goes way up to 225 or so midweek, and then got shot down a day or so ago. Now he's back up to what I believe is a fair market price on a guy whose game is just, I think, more complete. For Della Maddalena, couple fights back on short notice, albeit he had to take on a fighter named Hafez, and he struggled mightily and won a split decision that Hafez honestly should have won. That being said, Della Maddalena's got very slick striking. He's tough as nails. He's the younger fighter. Be a little bit larger here, but Bilal Muhammad gets totally overlooked and underappreciated. And I think the completeness of his game will be the difference here. And in probably a boring decision of a fight, I think Bilal Muhammad just rubs Della Maddalena out.
My friend, all across the nation, they're talking about the voodoo that Lou do with these NHL playoffs. You've identified a team or teams you think are out of gas. Do tell, Lou.
Well, sometimes you play a lot of games over the course of a couple, 2-3 years in a row, and I start to see signs of teams that may have to show themselves real quick. And as mighty as Florida was in round one against Tampa, I have signs. I think that Florida is showing signs of complete exhaustion. And in the West, I think there's another team that looks a little bit like that. Because of that, I'll be betting the Oilers tonight, and I think it's Las Vegas. There's a lot of eyeballs on Las Vegas. There's a lot of expectation on Vegas, and there's tonight a lot of pressure on Vegas. I'll be happy to take the Oilers in this game. And I think they're strong in the series, and the Oilers are showing me that it's not out of the realm that we could get Edmonton, Toronto as a final. Wouldn't that be great for hockey?
That would be, yes. I'm worried about Carolina, though, in Dallas. I don't think we're going to get much help from Winnipeg here in this series. What do you think?
I think you're going to get a lot of help. Washington's not done. They're a big, heavy team. And I think that Carolina... we can't pin Carolina as anything other than being up 1-0. I think Washington's still a real live team. 17-1 Washington in the Cup. That's ridiculous.
Wow.
What signs did you see of that in game one, Lou? I mean, they got outplayed in every facet of the game by a team that's not a good road team in Carolina.
Yeah, I don't know that Washington has made the claim that they're going to sweep every team on their way to the Cup. Every team's allowed a stinker. They laid it in game one. Let's see what happens in game two. Surely Carolina looked faster and much more on the ball. I don't think that's how it looks tonight.
Very good, my friend. Good luck. We'll talk to you soon, and enjoy the hockey tonight.
Thanks for having me, guys. Good luck, everybody.
Thanks, Lou.
UFC 315. Saturday, Montreal. Good angle, plenty of picks, and read them on VSiN as well. Ready to get in on the action? First Bet has you covered. Sign up now. Access exclusive promotions. Bet on hundreds of thrilling horse races every day right from your phone or computer. Visit firstbet.com, promo code VSiN200. Get a 20% rebate on all your wagers for the first 60 days, up to $200. Don't miss out. Start betting today at firstbet.com. Rapid fire coming up next. Major props to you. Back on Freeman. NBA, even though we have one game, MLB, and plenty of NHL props as well for today and tomorrow. A lot to get to, and some of these continue to hit and go over with ease as well, and home run props as well, which we'll get to. All that coming up, and Jeff Davis from Circa to Talk Hockey. He loves Carolina and what he's seen in the futures market as well with that USA-Canada prop. Follow the money, Pauly Howard, Mike Palm, all those picks straight ahead on VSiN. Follow the money. Sirius XM Channel 158 coming up next.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high-quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Back to hockey in the top of the hour with Jeff Davis from Circa. His thoughts if Washington has a shot and if it's the Carolina Invitational, and can Toronto pull this off, make it to the conference finals for the first time since 2002. All right, major props to you. A lot to get to here. How about right off the bat? Let's go game 2 with a doubleheader. Colt Keith hitting .350, 3 bombs the last 6 games. He's 5-1 to go deep, and total bases 2 over -130. That's at DraftKings. Always shop those with the props. You know, we want the 1.5 usually, but here in Colorado, and this isn't this something? It's supposed to be Montero, I think.
It's undecided.
Yeah,
now.
we don't
they
even
just moved it to undecided,
and it's $1.90 going against this
and
guy.
minus the run and a half, -130.
Oh
still.
man, what do you think?
Undecided against the Colorado.
10-2 final. Colorado now 6-30 on the season, on pace for 135 losses. What do you think? Right back with Detroit?
Why not?
Yeah, and the Keith prop's not bad. I don't mind Torkelson either.
They've got no pin.
Well.
They got no arms
No.
to throw this game. What are they going to get out of Tanner Gordon? I mean,
Yeah,
even if you fall
Terrible.
behind, you got a big shot here.
yeah, I know. Right back with Schwarber props, plus 260, hit a home run. I don't mind that as well. More on that coming up. But he continues to rake. Hard to believe he's still only halfway there to the record with Ted Williams. And Austin Riley in good form as well. If you want to look at his hits or total bases. And again, right back to Freddie Freeman. At Will Hill and Caesars, total bases 1.5 over -120. How? Again, that's all it is. 478. Average 18 RBIs during the 12-game streak. Bases loaded triple yesterday. Back-to-back games with home runs before that. Fought against the Dodgers. Over 1.5 total bases with Freddie. A couple winners today. How about the home run tracker, Luke? You got it? Fire it up. All right, we had Bellinger yesterday, 5-1. We had Witt yesterday who got it done. Freeman, I mean, he was 8-1 a couple days ago. Now plus 350. But I think that's in play as well. If Freddie can go deep, plus 340. And Conforto, plus 470. Some spots to go deep as well. I'll give those out. Schwarber, also plus 250, plus 260 in that range for home runs. Give that a shot. Small card. We don't have much to deal with. And again, I don't want to play it in the Angel game because every Bassett start has gone under as well. What do you say, Maestro?
You know another thing about your team here, the Twins. You know who's a good fade on these props? Correa, with the total bases and hits. I mean, he's hitting 221. Another 0 for 3 today. Yeah. He's really struggling. Buxton's the only guy that hits the ball on that team. You know, I
don't mind him, too. Some people were, I think,
Yep.
Has he gone deep 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, good angle. All right, to the hockey. What do you think? What are you getting involved? You got to go first period over in the Vegas game. All 7 have gone over. I don't mind going the first 10 as well.
I'm going to play Edmonton on the puck line.
Are you?
To win by 1.5 goals.
Oh, juicy.
I got to find the best price in the market, but I mean, I'd like to get north of $2 here.
Yeah.
You just got to have the lead with 5 minutes left, right? I mean, look what happened in that game. They were tied with 6 minutes. You score the goal. They're going to empty the net. This isn't a team that misses either. This is a team that converts. I mean, the Blues had 3.5 minutes of an empty net in Game 7 and couldn't come close to hitting it. This cost them, or they'd still be in this playoffs. But I just think the Knights are up against. I could be wrong. I thought they were up against it in Game 4 in Minnesota too. I could be wrong, but boy, for 50 minutes when you get outplayed that badly at home by a team that you're very familiar with, there's no surprises anymore here, right? And you get shut out for 52 minutes by Calvin Pickard and that Edmonton D. There's problems here. What does Harry say? The danger here, Sherry.
There's danger. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I'm going first period over again. All 7 have gone over. Stone over shots on goal, 1.5 minus 180. He had the quick goal. That's the other thing coming out. You've seen a lot of bad goals early in some of these games and the silly penalties. I mean, you look up sometimes the team's on a power play 2 minutes in.
A lot of penalties.
Yeah, and then you had the 4-minute power play from Vegas in that first game. I also like Freddie Anderson under 22.5 saves in the first game with Carolina.
You don't think Washington
will
get pucks on net?
No. So 14 shots on goal in the first game. I understand this all comes down to this, your season on the line, but that was just ridiculous. What happened in game 1?
What's Pickard shots on goal for Edmonton?
Saves is 24.5.
That's interesting as well.
Yeah.
Did the Knights get 27, 28 shots on goal?
That's not bad. The total domination.
Would they have 6 between the last 2 periods?
Yes,
7
right,
in the last?
Right. Ice was tilted for most of the game. Anderson under 22.5. Thompson's 20. Maybe you go over Thompson.
Well, they put
94 shot attempts.
And what did they put, 34?
Yeah, 94-34.
34 on net, yeah.
Right. The thing that I know concerned Jonathan Davis, other than that, was the fact that Carolina out-hit him. And if Washington's supposed to be this physical team, and how they just pushed around Montreal, that Carolina took it to them on their home ice as well. So you go over Thompson saves 26.5. I'm going to come right back with the under, too. I don't see a lot of goals in this series. And 2-1 in overtime a game 1, and I think 5.5 go back under with this, and I like both goaltenders in this game. Have you looked at Rantanen props yet? And what are you going to do?
No.
No? You too high? What? What do you mean no?
No, I mean...
I'm not saying hat trick again, but 4, and 3 points the last 3 games and back-to-back hat trick.
What would you play him over? Would you try to play him over 2.5 points? I mean, it's still Winnipeg at home.
Uh-huh. Well, yeah, with the season on the line, but I know I don't have a problem in net. I mean, this guy's been solved. We know the answer to this riddle. Right? He's 210 to have a point.
Minus 210.
Minus 210 to have a point.
What about 2 points? I think that's the palatable play. He's involved in every Dallas goal.
He is. 12 in a row. He's close to there's some kind of record that he has there as well. I read about that too. There was something going on there. In
the playoffs, it's involved in 12 goals?
It's something with Lemieux. I read it. Yeah, it's 12 in a row involved. I'll try to bring it up here. But that's not bad too, about multiple points, goal, and all that in the 80-1 cashed. Now, NBA, only one game tonight. Minnesota, 10.5, 201 the total against Golden State. So Finch comes out, and he says, we're sending all these clips to the league, and it was ridiculous what they did to Rudy, and we might have to take justice in our own hands here about the clutching, the holding, the grabbing, the pushing, and why Golden State did so well in the rebounding edge in Game 1. So we're going to be physical, be ready to go. But with Curry out now, the obvious choice is Butler, but then it should be a blowout. I'm with you.
I laid the 10.5
right,
tonight.
Yeah, and if no one waves the flag more than
I believe
Golden
that
State.
if they don't cover 10.5, they're losing the game. I don't think this is a close game, Paul. This is a desperate Minnesota team here.
Yep. So then you go and look at Will Hill and also DraftKings. I also think it's going to be a blowout. And then you just get ready for Game 3. And then who could cash for game leaders and most points? The last 2 games, Buddy Hield has been 70 and 80-1 and got it done. He is 20-1 tonight. But if it's a blowout and maybe Kerr says, we're not even going to play you. Remember, when they did that in Houston,
I like McDaniel.
I like so McDaniel. So do I, 35-1. I like that too. That's some pizza money on McDaniels. And Moody almost got it done in that Houston game. He's 75-1. That he came off, finally got some minutes, and I think he had 23, 24 points in that game and just fell short. And if it's all about Rudy, who almost did it in Game 5 against the Lakers.
He'll never have that many points.
Can't happen again?
Come on. No.
Well, yeah, but maybe it doesn't take that much. No. Maybe 19 can get it done if it's a blowout.
Maxi Kleber won't be out there against
him.
First action in 4 months.
I know. I can't believe I like Redick. I can't believe he did that.
Well, did you see what he said? Not all the players were in shape.
Well, that's tough. 100-1 for Rudy. Peyton is also 100-1 for most points.
He expects him to be in shape to play the entire second half without a break, though. Think about that.
That's not realistic.
It's not realistic to play that.
No.
I have a 5-man rotation, he said. Ridiculous. I thought they were actually going to come back and get game because he finally paced them during the game. And they still had nothing at the end. Yeah,
that's fair. They were up double digits in those games in Minnesota.
But meanwhile, they missed 18 threes in a row. They're going to do that again tonight. They'll lose this game.
Yeah.
The Ant-Man made his first jumper with 6 minutes left in the game.
That's right.
Game 1.
That's right. I'm with you. Set the tone, attack, go to the basket. Don't play like the Celtics. If it's, I thought Windhorst was great today. The Celtics don't realize why they're behind. They're being stubborn. And it's, we trust the process, right? No, it's not working. You're shooting 25% from three. G-Bank Visa Signature Card today. Get it. Those are all the best bets. And most credit cards, street sports books, and gaming transactions as cash advances. That's even when you put your own money on the card. G-Bank treats gaming transactions as purchases, so you're saving up to 3 to 5% on cash advance fees in gaming transactions right there. You're earning 1% cashback rewards on all eligible sportsbook and gaming transactions and 2% on eligible purchases. Apply now, vsin.com/GBank. vsin.com/GBank. All right, we covered it all there with all the props that keep it going. And the Freeman's been good to us, and the over in the Vegas first period has been great for us as well. No one's higher on Carolina than our next guest. You won't believe the adjusted series price. And if he thinks Washington is done, we'll talk to Jeff Davis from Circa. NHL Playoffs Rapid Fire coming up next on Follow the Money. Sirius XM Channel 158, downtown Las Vegas, live from Circa.
If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine. And maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them. From disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.